Hi, it's Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor. Welcome to this month's edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers, where my scrapbooking friends Debbie Martin, Nicole So, and I divide up one paper pack and one sticker pack and create 6 pages for you. This time, we're going to be using Summer Break. Have you ever had a few sheets of paper you just really didn't feel excited about? I have to say, after I came away from our selection process with my 4 papers this time, I wasn't loving them. I didn't feel like I could really use them together. I didn't make the best decisions choosing these. But I found a great way to put them all together for a really cute layout that showcases all of the designs.
So let's get started with my 2 pages. Let's take a look at the papers that we're going to be using for my 2 pages. First, we're going to use this blue, green, and darker green as a background. I'm not going to use this cute side that has good times, but we'll put this to good use right here. Then we've got the sunshine paper on the other side. It's this yellow pattern. Then we've got this red and white checked with the kites on the other side. Then we've got this gorgeous blue water with the cute polka dots on the other side. And then I'm adding a piece of cardstock to mine, and I chose a coordinating color for this summer break collection, and this is baby blue. Then I have all of these embellishments that I chose for mine. A good assortment there. And here is an optional piece. Canary cardstock, and if you got this exclusive circle punch, the Sunshine Mandala circle punch, we're going to be using that. But again, that is optional, not necessary, not required for this layout. So let's look at the tools you'll need. In addition to this optional punch, and again, this is optional, you're going to need your custom cutting system mat. And I always recommend having 2 mats. I love having them put together. It's just going to make the layouts easier because you have this ruler that goes all the way around this 13 by 13 mat, and it really does come in handy. If you have just one, it's okay. You can still do it. Then I find myself always using a silicone mat. We're going to need our custom cutting system largest circle pattern. There's 3 circles. You want the largest one. And then we're going to need our blue and our green blades. We're of course going to need our 12-inch trimmer always. And I'm even going to use the border maker system and the cartridge of your choice. I recommend something that you have to cut off. My paper's still there. Something you have to cut off the bottom of and then have the pattern up there. Now, I also show you kind of some options if you use a chain pattern, one of these that is cuts the pattern on both sides like this. But I recommend something where it's going to look like this so you can tuck it under, but I'll show you both. And then finally, we're going to need both tape runners, the repositionable and the regular tape runner. We're going to start with the piece of baby blue cardstock and this beautiful piece right here. Now, if you have 2 of these on hand, you can make it a lot easier on yourself and have one on each side. And then we're going to cut this one down the middle, and you can apply it here and here. But I'm going to show you how to do this with welding, of course, because I'm going to conserve paper in my album and keep the weight down. So we're going to cut both of these in half at 6 inches. Again, you'll save yourself some time by doing a full sheet on each side. And as the lazy scrapbooker, you know, I can highly recommend that. But I do want to show you this option in case you just have the one sheet or only want to use one sheet. Then we're going to cut this down the center this way, vertically through the different colors. We're going to put these aside for right now. And now we're going to pull out the polka dot sheet. And this is the one that has the beautiful waves on the other side. All right, so let's take this and make sure our waves are horizontal. We can flip it over if we like, but you know what? Let's keep making sure those waves are horizontal so we can cut up here. That way we don't accidentally cut down into these because we're going to, use this a little bit. All right, first we're going to take our blue blade and we're going to cut on the outside. Now the blue blade has the biggest gap between the blade and the prongs. So you want to make sure you give yourself enough room. And I have not made this difficult. You've got plenty of room here on all these sheets of paper, so you're not going to run out of paper. Do not worry about that, but you don't want to put it right here. That's just wasteful. So we're going to put it kind of up in there, here in the corner, and make sure you get your 2 prongs in there. And you can see I've got plenty of clearance there, but you do want to make sure you have plenty of clearance. The main thing is making sure you have those 2 prongs in there, because if you don't, you know what happens. You drag on your paper and you rip it and you have to start over. I always make sure when I'm using the custom cutting system that I can move the sheet before I let go of my hand here. All right, so now we have a perfect circle. We're going to use that side of it. Okay, now we're going to cut 2 more circles. We're going to use the inside track now, and we'll switch over to our green blade. And I'm done with a blue blade for now, so I'm going to put it up so that it's not, you know, a little danger there, a little cut waiting to happen. So we're going to do green on the inside. And for this, we're going to need several circles. I believe we're going to be cutting 8 of them, but only 2 on this piece of paper. There's 1. And we'll do 1 right up close here, so we're leaving a lot of this paper down here. And 2. Okay, great. Let's put this paper aside. We'll come back to that. And now let's bring out our sunshine paper. And we're going to cut 3 circles on this. Again, we're staying with the inside track of the largest circle of our cutting templates, and we're using the green blade, as you can see. You should be able to get all of these in a row up here. And that way we save ourselves a lot of paper that we can use for photo mats. All right, we'll put that one aside, and now we'll get out the cute little kites with the red picnic on the other side. And I'm gonna make sure this is right ways up. And so we're just gonna cut up here. We're gonna do 3 more circles using this one. If you're wondering what is keeping my 2 cutting mats together, I just put a piece of blue painter's tape on the back to tape them together. And it's nice because it allows me to fold them for travel, very easy. And they really don't slide too much. I mean, I don't have a problem with them sliding. I tried it with one of those non-skid pads on the bottom, and it just added too much height to my table or to my cutting surface. All right, so now we have all these cute little circles. I can put this up now. Now we're going to cut these circles, and this is one of my favorite little tips that we use for cutting circles. I even have a YouTube short about it. First, we're going to cut this big circle, and we're going to be using the polka dot side. So you just want to place your circle between these 2 edges right here of your trimmer. And when you do that, it cuts it perfectly in half. Now we're going to cut these in half again. I don't trust myself to get it right this way, so I'm going to have to measure this. Let's see how long this is. It is almost 6.5 inches, maybe 6 3/8. So dividing that in half, let's say 3 3/16. That's perfect. And it looks pretty perfect here. I don't have to fold anything. Yep, love it. So your measurement here is 3 3/16. Don't you love complicated fractions? And if you're wondering where that is, here you have 3, and every little black tiny tick mark here is a 16th. So you go to 3 and you go 1, 2, 3. And that is where to measure that circle, and it will be perfect. This is more complicated than I usually do. You know, I like fast and easy pages. All right, so we have 4 little slices there. Now we're going to cut the circles in half where we're going to be using them. So I'm going to sort them out here. We have the kites, we have the water, and we have 3 of the sunshines. So for the sunshines, let's cut with the grid on the back in case we end up using this side. I'm not sure we're going to yet until I put it down. So using that same trick, it cuts it in half perfectly. Now, if your circle was really small, you would have to take your scissors and trim it because it goes so far up in there, the blade doesn't go that far. Now, if you're really feeling confident, you could stack these. I'm not, that's what it does if you don't cut it all the way. I'm not feeling that confident. I'm not going to stack these because I don't trust myself to make a mistake. I want it perfect. I know that's usually not important to me, but it is this time. Now we have 5 remaining circles to cut, and the direction is pretty important here so that it looks right on your page. So let's take the water first. This is the one with the polka dots at the back. So we're going to look at the water side. The first one we're going to cut with the waves going horizontal. The next one we're going to cut with the waves going vertical. Okay, and it's going to matter which ones we use. Now let's cut all of the kites. The kites, we're going to cut them all across the middle so that if the kite is going up this way, you're going to cut it across the middle. So I'm going to turn those kites on their sides and cut them all. So this kite's facing up here. Sometimes it's hard to tell. All right, so I'm going to put the circles up here out of the way. I've got 2 piles there, the larger ones and the smaller ones. And we're going to come back here to our 3 pieces of paper that we've got to use. So now I'm just going to clean these papers up. I've already cut off the excess right here. That is trash. And then I'll do the same for these 2 right here. Just cut off what we don't need, but don't waste too much. This checkered paper, the picnic blanket, makes a great background for photos. I think it makes a really good little border. It really brings out a pop of color and really ties it all together. I love it. So I'm going to save that for my photo mats. Then I'm going to use this for our border maker system that we're going to use a little border on. I like the boldness of it. It looks good against these lighter colors that we have. And this I can use for photo mats or a little bit extra here. So first, let's use our border maker system. And this is why I left this horizontally, because we're going to use a little bit of that. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you can do this. So use a favorite border maker cartridge, and it looks really nice with a chain cartridge, one that cuts it off on both sides. So let's try that one on this one. And I'm using this Dotted Diamond, I believe is the name of it, which was an exclusive a while back. Always great to get those exclusives, but we have so many options. Beautiful. And you can't really see the waves too much, but you can tell. It looks really good the way we did it. So we've got one beautiful border, and now we're going to cut a second one. So you can cut one more in your favorite border maker cartridge. Again, any cartridge will work. I used a chain, but you know what? I'm also going to show you that a non-chain will work. And I'm going to use this from the Secret Box, second quarter, 2024, the bicycle, because my photos are about bicycling. So I'm going to make 2 of these instead. Just wanted to show you that one, how beautiful it is. And you can use one with a chain so you can kind of see how each look. But I'm not going to make a second one because I want to conserve all this paper. And let me see how much I have left. I got about 4 inches. That's cool. That's cool. That gives me about 2 inches with each one. Love it. Okay, so let's cut my bicycle. And I don't want this border maker cartridge getting cute with me and eating my paper because, as you can see, I don't have much. So I'm going really slowly. I have found, oops, it's good to get that out of the way. When it's an intricate pattern, and most of them are quite intricate, to slowly pull it off of it and not slide it down. That works a little better for me. Okay, that's the slowest I've ever cut a border, I think. All right, now we'll pull our trimmer back out, and I'm going to cut that at about 2 inches. I could do this upside down and cut the border here, but then my waves are going to be upside down, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to have to cut this at about 2 inches here. Now, what that's going to do, oh, how cute, I love it. It'd have been a lot easier if you were doing this border right here. So you may not have to do this. You may not need to do this, but I wanted to have the bicycles because mine was a bicycle page. So now, as you can see, when I pull this tray out, I don't have enough paper to stay on there. So I'm going to have to use the cool little post-it note trick that you've probably seen, where I'm going to attach a post-it note. Here's a sticky side to the paper halfway, then put the paper in, tape it down. There we go. You didn't really have to put the sticky side this way. You could have done it that way. It'll still hold it because this is a magnetic catch there. So again, very gingerly here. And it'll cut right through the post-it note too that you'll remove in a moment. Again, you may not have to do this little trick depending on what. If you're using something like this, you could just flip that thing around and do a border the easy way. So now I have 2, and it's the right direction that I wanted. So that was a good idea to do. And we're going to pull out, I know I'm all over the place with the order that we're going in, but that's okay. Let's take our sunshine paper, because we're not going to need it as much. And let's cut off 1 1/4. That's a good amount to work with. 2 strips. We're going to use this for our welding since we've got so much left over of this one. And now we're going to place these pieces. Okay, so here's how it's going to look. We've got the sky at the top and then the ground at the bottom. That's how I look at it. And we're going to weld these on the back. So let's do this. Let's take them and flip them. You don't want to flip them like this, and we're welding them in the wrong place. So flip them like this. And there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm actually going to use a regular tape runner. I think it works a little bit better. I'm going to tape these down the center. See how I'm doing that? Because they're stuck together now. But we're just going to put this welding piece right here to cover all that up. Look how perfect that is. That, to me, is the easiest way to do it. So we're going to take it from the top, flip it over like a pancake. We're keeping them together how they should be. And then we're going to put this piece here that nobody's going to see. Check it out. There's our two perfectly welded pieces there. Love it. So now we're ready to build our pages. I really love using the double mats because you can see exactly where you are. Now the first thing we're going to do, and I'm using this silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can still get these under the advisor exclusives. So if you're interested in becoming an advisor, let me know. I would love to tell you all about it. The Advisor Advantage gives you such a great deal where you can get exclusive products and earn commissions on your own purchases even. So we did it on the wave side. So we're going to attach this polka dot little piece that looks like a nice big slice of pizza up here in the corner. We're going to do that in all four corners. Now, if you don't have silicone mats, you can certainly use parchment paper or wax paper right out of your kitchen. So you just want to make sure you place this where it's right in the corner. And the reason I'm using the silicone mat, because I could just go 1, 2, 3 and do a few things with the repositionable, but I'm letting it go off the edge, and that way with these little pieces, nothing gets peeled up. So notice how I'm going on the corners. I do this when I do triangles. And of course, look at that, I am out. Fortunately, I keep them nearby. So let's refill that really quick. And if you've not seen Creative Memories' current tape runner, this is how hard it is to refill your tape runner. I'm being sarcastic. Done. That's real time. I didn't even speed it up. So easy. Love that. Remember in the old days, if you used them, when we had to feed it, like you had to thread it, it was just awful. I used to, when I hosted crops, I would spend most of my time putting everyone's tape in their tape runner when they needed it. All right, so we've got those. Now we're going to take the rest of our little circles, and you can do any pattern you want, but realize some of these are directional. So remember when we cut the waves, we're going to use some like this, and you want to have the waves facing the right side, the right place. And I'll put these, let's see, now this one has to go down here. Let's see. And this one has to go up here just because the direction they're going. So we'll figure it out, but this just helps you place these. We'll do the same thing with our kites. This kite is facing up, so it needs to go down here somewhere. This one, I think it's like this. I think. We'll see. We'll have enough though. Oh, and some of these we are using the other side. So that's not a really pretty piece. Let's use the other side like that. That's a great piece. I'd rather use that one. Oh, that's perfect. Whenever you can see a kite, I like that one. And if you don't like the way it looks, we'll just use the other side. So I'm kind of splitting the red and the kite. Which one do we like better? I kind of like this one. And then our sunshines we can use all over the place. I don't particularly love this side. I know I cut it to go with that, but I really like the sun. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one over here because I've got something planned for that area. So because there are so many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you want to have one of these on every side. We have 6 sides here. So I haven't attached them yet, but you just want to make sure that you're happy with the arrangement. I didn't want to put those directly under each other. I don't want to put these directly under each other. Let's do like that. That looks nice. Just kind of scan it. See how you like it. You can copy mine exactly as it is if you like this one. Let's flip-flop these a little bit, I think, so it's not exactly like over here. All right, so we're just going to hold right there. Now, I'm going to figure out where the bikes go. Now, if you did one like this, you can put this wherever you want to. You can put it underneath here if you want, like that, just to have a little pattern going across. Or you can put it directly in the center, but covering it up with these circles if you want to, just something a little extra. I kind of like down here. Because I'm doing the bicycles, I definitely want them down here. So I'm going to tuck them underneath these circles. And you know I've already attached that thing right there. You know, I'm going to flip this one over because it's going to be the same paper on the same paper. That just doesn't work. So I'm going to do it like this. All right, we're just placing things around before we attach them. Yeah, and I'm going to have to use my multi-tool and pull that thing up. I got a little bit too quick there, a little too hasty. All right, so I'm happy with the placement of everything. Now it's time to put everything down, starting with my little fix I have to do here. So first, let's put some tape runner on the back of this. This is why I love Repositionable, because y'all know I make mistakes all the time. And so if I'm giving you a measurement, if you did something similar to mine, basically about 1/2 inch from the bottom, about 1/2 inch. And we'll just tuck that under there and then put them back. No harm done. All right, so now I'm going to add these. So the first one, we're going to start at the edge. They overlap just a little bit. If you're just straddle kind of the 3 and the 6 here on the mat, and this one kind of straddles the 6 and the 9 there. There we go. I like that. I'm making sure to put some repositionable tape on the bicycles as well. And then with that multi-tool, we'll lift this guy up. And again, about 1/2 inch from the bottom is what I'm doing. So these are barely touching each other. I mean, they are overlapping a bit. Okay, so the bottom part is done. Fun use of all the colors. You've got some standout colors right here. And when we pull this in for our photo mats here, I'm really gonna like that. When in doubt, like on these sides, you just want to kind of center it. Just put it over the 6 and the 9 right here. And this will be the 3 and the 6. Just use that wonderful ruler that you have going all the way around here if you need to. Makes it so much easier. But I'm going to start from over here at this edge right here because I can't go off the side of the paper. And let's speed this up so you won't have to wait through all of this. Okay, that was fast. All done. Now, again, you can see really what this looks like if you use one of the Boilermaker cartridges that you have to cut. Now, if you use a chain, then it's up to you where you want to put it. You could put it up high. You could put it down here, just kind of on top of those, like with some space in between. Totally up to you. It just adds a little bit extra. But this was just perfect for my pictures. And you may have some bicycling pictures too from the summer. I'm going to push these to the side for now, and I'm going to show you the optional edition. Totally up to you. Now, this is our cool, exclusive, the Sunshine Mandala. So if you did get one of those and are just dying to use it, let's give it a try right now. So as you know, you need to start with a 6x6 piece of paper, but I'm going to use a smaller scrap, and you do not have to have a full sheet. And I bet if I searched, I have what I need in there, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So what we need is just 3x6. I'm going to show you how to do this for a smaller scrap. We're just going to make a half sun. So you want to have a 3x6 piece of this yellow cardstock, and this color is canary. So you know what I did just then? I just ran through that so quickly. I cut down to 6 inches, and I knew that because the edge of my cartridge housing comes down to the 7. It's 1 inch from the cutting line to the edge of that. So I'm going to place this, lining it up at 6 over here, and then starting here at 3 inches. To tell that, I'm looking at the edge of this. It's at my 4 and cutting up. So I have the perfect little scrap, and I used a whole piece of paper for that. You don't have to do that. You probably have what you need. I'll put that down in the scraps next to the other canary scraps that I probably had. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Now, normally you know how to do this. It even tells you on the side there, you punch all the edges. So what you're going to do here is punch one edge. And again, if you don't have this, don't worry about it. This is optional, just one to use it. So I punched one corner here. Now I'm going to rotate it one time, 90 degrees. And you have that, okay? Now we're going to flip it like a pancake. Boom. And now we're going to punch the other 2 corners. So just make sure you have this little tab going towards the right and you won't mess up. And then you rotate it 90 degrees again, and you're going to punch that little tab off right there. Okay, there we go. So you have a half sun. So that's just a little trick to do one when you only need half of it. The other option was to do a 6x6 piece where you can easily cut that in half. So if you're wanting to know, if you're like, okay, why don't you just cut the whole thing? I want to see it. I want to see what it does. Well, let's do that now. So I need 6x6. That's the rule with these. You have to have 6x6 to do the full thing. With a full 6x6, here's what you do. And again, I'm just doing this to satisfy curiosity. You keep rotating. You do all 4 corners. Then you flip it like a pancake. You're going to do this corner. Rotate. I love these punches. Whoever came up with this is a genius. Look at that beautiful sunshine. I love it. But my first one I'll use because it's the trick if you don't have a whole one and you don't want to waste it. But hey, I'll keep this for something else. Cute. We don't have these often, so when we do, you want to snap those up because they are cute. Okay, and here's my optional piece right here. I love it. I wanted that sunshine up there. So let's attach it. Repositionable tape is our friend. If you don't have the yellow cardstock and you still want to do it, you can do it with this other side. It's just going to be really, really light. I tried it with this and it looked like I had 2 sunny side up eggs, and that was not what I was going for. So this side will do if you want to use that, but I just wanted that bold canary yellow. All right, now I'm going to gather my photos, and so you know I like to just kind of create a nice canvas for you to put your photos wherever you want, and I'm going to arrange them on here with the embellishments. That's all we have left now. So these are the 5 photos I'm going to use. My goodness, Nicholas is here. These are the 5 photos. I'm going to have to pause. We're going to have to feed him. Okay, I'm back. So these are the photos I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this for as many photo mats as I can. Now, all of my photos are 4 inches wide or tall. Let's see how much I have here. Oh, how nice. I have, ooh, it's going to be tight. I may have to trim a couple. I have almost 8.5, and I need really a full 8.5. So let's cut this one at 4 1/4 width. And this one, it's just over 4. That's okay. So I should have been a little bit more careful when I cut those scraps off. Yeah, I could have gotten a full 8.5 inches out of that. But it's okay because I got plenty that I can trim off here. And so this is a full 6 inch. So you cut your mats how you want to. I may bring this one in for one particular one to let this be a photo mat as well, because I can only get 4 out of these. I don't typically have 4x6. This is a 4x6, but all of these are the digital size. So you cut your photo mats how you want to mat your photos. If you want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. I cut all my mats using the checkered paper and one of the yellow, and I've got this much left. So you could get 1 or 2 mats out of that if you had more photos than me. So I'm going to go ahead and place these now and add the embellishments, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's a great layout for papers that you have left over that you really aren't sure if they go together beautifully or not. This works great. So I added my photos with all the mats as you see here. And then it looks really good. I overlapped them a bit, and I made sure that when I did overlap them, I was only basically covering sky for the most part and not the beautiful scenery. So I made sure to put the rocks in this photo this way and these rocks over here. So that was on purpose. All right, and then I tucked that one under my beautiful optional sun. Then I have one big sticker cluster over here. There are 2 suns, I realize, but I'm okay with that. Then I used a couple more stickers here. I had selfie here. I just use these as tags: outdoors, explore. And then I have the little butterflies here. And then I used all 4 of these. They worked perfectly in the corner just to add a little something there. And I'm a big fan of the Write On journaling stickers. So if you make a mistake, you just start over. So I just put a little bit of journaling right here, and I'm done.
Be sure to head over to Debbie and Nicole's videos for their pages. You'll find the links to their videos in the description of this video. Make sure to like or subscribe to my channel to see all future videos. Thanks for watching.